So what can people expect to see at a Cranberries show?
They can see 4 leprechauns standing on a stage.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4!
A lilting clear voice against jangling or jamming guitars marks the sound of the Cranberries, Ireland's biggest musical export since U2. From the working-class town of Limerick sprouted the guitar-wielding brothers Hogan and a drummer named Fergal.
Just to go back a little bit to the early days, who were you guys' influences at the time? Who were you listening to?
Stuff like New Order, Joy Division, Smiths.
I think we kind of knew more of what band we didn't want to be than a band that we did want to be. We knew we didn't want to be like heavy metal or rap.
Meanwhile, in nearby Ballybricken, the 18-year-old girl with killer pipes knew what she didn't like.
I remember I went to see a few different bands, but most of them were doing like, Born in the USA. And I was there, I'm not singing that. You know, let's write songs. No, you won't make any money in the pub out of that.
The boys made a go of the band under the name Cranberry Sauce, with a male behind the mic.
The guy that was singing with him before, he used to give him an awful time because he loved, like, he used to write lyrics like, throw me down a big stairs, I want to bleed on the carpet, please. You know, all these mad lyrics.
But frontman Niall Quinn moved on, and the 3 lads sought a new, gentler singer.
We just thought it'd be nice if a girl could sing these songs, instead of a guy coming in and roaring his head off.
I went in and I met the lads, and I was there, you mean you don't want me to sing Born in the USA, and you don't want me to sing all these covers? No. I was like, great.
And even like the first day that the doors came up, we had about 10 of our friends in the room.
Everywhere we go, our 10 friends go too. We are one.
It must have been frightening to walk in and see, you know, about 13 guys, you know, all standing there kind of, you know, looking at her.
Are they expecting me to turn up in a mini skirt and a pair of, you know, fishnets or whatever, and I walk in my pink tracksuit with a keyboard under my arm, and they're all looking at me, and I remember I felt like, I'll prove it, because I knew that the minute I opened my mouth, I'd kind of make them all go.
Can you talk about the first time you heard her sing?
I was just blown away when I heard it, I couldn't believe it. And then we played just some of the instrumental stuff we had. She was really impressed. So she came again the next Wednesday, I think, or something like that, and put Linger on a tape.
I took it home and wrote the lyrics and put structure on it and wrote strings. And it was just a completely different song. It had a completely different feel because it was this na 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 na, and it wasn't like da da, yeah.
By autumn 1990, the new lineup was born, the name revised, and in 6 weeks they were in a local studio laying down a batch of songs, including Linger and Dreams.
The style that people associate with you, and rightly so, call it just amazing and very unique. Is that something that you had already, by the time you joined the band, it was already a way you sang?
Yeah. My parents were so religious. I had to go to church like about 5 or 6 times a week. You sing so many really intense hymns. And when you're singing a hymn, whether it be, I don't know if you saw that Pavarotti performance from the duet. Those were the type of hymns that I was weaned on, you know. Because like Latin, and it's really difficult, and the melodies just keep meandering. There is no structure.
You know, people respond to Catholicism in so many different ways. You know, we see everyone from Sinead O'Connor to Madonna expressing in their own way sort of their take on it.
Obviously, Madonna doesn't have great respect for lots of religious things because she exploits them in videos and stuff, you know. I don't like that. I don't like using religious imagery in any kind of warped way. I think it's kind of weird. Obviously, I'd be closer to the Sinead thing on that. Sinead is pretty into her faith and she has respect for everything.
Fight the real enemy.
Did you have a reaction to the Pope picture thing with Sinead?
She had a really rough childhood at the hands of her religious background. There's a lot of work prep going on, a lot of child molest and all that stuff. I mean, I think she actually probably likes the Pope as a person. She was just using it as an image, and in her head, it was symbolizing the pain she experienced as a child.
Nothing compares to you.
There are comparisons between the two of you vocally.
Well, I was always flattered anyway, because I always loved her voice. I think she's an amazing singer. She's still one of my favorites, actually.
By 1991, the Cranberries' demo had generated enough buzz to bring industry suits to Limerick for a feeding frenzy over the band.
It was just such and such from Virgin is going, so I better go and kiss and miss out on this, you know. And he hadn't even heard the band or anything, you know, that kind of thing. It was just to jump on the bandwagon.
The Cranberries signed with Island Records that summer, and soon after released an EP called Uncertain that never quite took off.
Tears on your face, honey, you're a total disgrace. Why did you bring me here?
But a new collection of angst-filled songs soon followed.
I swore I'd never feel like this again. But you're so selfish, you know.
Stephen Street, producer of Cranberry Heroes and mope rockers The Smiths, seemed a natural choice to produce their debut album. Everybody else is doing it, so why can't we? But release was delayed until early '93, and the songs did not get much notice until U.S. listeners caught on at year's end.
Like, it just kind of happened overnight, really. Someone just had this other record starting to sell.
And Linger broke here, it hit here, and it was like, come on, get over to the States, it's happening. So it was like, yee-hoo, we're going to America. So we all we came over and we played little club dates, and I think we must have done about 5 months of touring.
Throughout '93 and '4, the Cranberries shared the bill with Hothouse Flowers, Suede, Belly, The, and Duran Duran.
Tell me about Duran Duran then. That you guys, a relatively new band, being out with these veterans.
It was relatively freaky for us. It was like big arenas, whoa, you know. And I remember like going into our dressing room and, wow, look at all the food. Like little starving, dirty band off the dirty rock scene, and everything was so clean, and it's like, this is cool. And there's no pictures of asses and stuff on the wall. This is really cool.
You like a little Duran-y growing up?
Yeah, I was. I was pretty into Simon's ass, all right. I have to say I had pictures of him and we walked.
Did you let him know this?
I did.
You know I'm such a fool for you. You got me wrapped around your big hair.
With hit singles on both sides of the pond and an album gone platinum, the Cranberries had cause to celebrate. And so they did at the biggest party of '94.
Oh, wow, you're spinning me around. My feet are off the ground. I don't know where I stay yet. Do you have to hold my hand? Justify me.
Up next, an Irish jig, a knickers scandal, and a good whipping.
When the band he idolised wanted him to be their new lead singer,
It's Kurt Cuddy, playing a band called Steel Dragon.
there was only one thing he could do:
Do you want the gig then?
follow his dreams. And if your dream is to win a perfect holiday, then you should definitely enter MTV's Rockstar competition. Win and you and a friend could find yourselves following your dreams all the way to the Gold Coast of Australia. Hang out at Surfers Paradise and soak up the sun. But don't forget that with VIP tickets to Movie World, you'll never be short of things to do.
Your job is to live the fantasy. Dream big.
So, to win this fantastic holiday, have a go at this question. What is the name of the band in the film? Is it A, Red Dragon, B, Steel Dragon, or C, Ice Dragon? If you know the answer, then send it to this address or go to www.mtv.es/movies.
Follow your dreams, man! Follow your dreams!
Essential Pleasures by Trium.
Empezaron juntos.
La primera vez que te vi me dije, ese chico va a llegar muy lejos.
Compartían un sueño. Pero tenerse el uno al otro es suficiente para conseguirlo. Mark Wahlberg.
Es de puta madre.
Jennifer Aniston, Rockstar. Vívela en tu cine.
Serie especial Peugeot 206 PlayStation 2. Empieza donde acaba la realidad.
We have your daughter.
Daddy.
You have a patient. She has a number. I need that number.
Don't think.
Get her back. I need you to help me.
Michael Douglas.
You want what they want.
What is it?
Don't say a word.
I'll never tell any of you.
It's not a competition in the band, it's in who'll get the famous. It's like we're a band, we're the Cranberries. And the bigger Dolores gets, the bigger the Cranberries get.
In early '94, with sales of the first album still going full tilt, the Cranberries marched straight back to their comfy couch and producer Stephen Street to record No Need to Argue, released in October of '94. The title and tracks like Empty and Disappointment refer to Dolores' rocky relationship with a longtime beau.
But they say it'll work out fine. Was it all a waste of time?
Remember after I wrote the song No Need to Argue, I just could not sing it for a long time. I just started crying all the time on stage. It was like intense, but I had to get over that.
There's no need to argue.
But by the time the second album was released, O'Riordan had found a happier love and, dressed in unconventional attire, married former Duran Duran stage manager Don Burton. Dolores and her Canadian mate are trying to settle into life with traditional Irish neighbors.
They don't think that I can speak Gaelic, right, because I'm a rock star, right, so they're there. Sinead and Colleen, they'd be there. Sinead and Colleen on Bonacule. They'd be saying, that's the girl from the Cranberries. And one guy one night was giving out and he was there. I don't know why she married a Canadian though. Why couldn't she marry an Irish man? And he was there and I was there going, Tá Gaeilge go, I says to him, I have Irish, you know. And he was there, oh. He was like mortified, you know.
Is that something you'd like to do? Incorporate traditional Irish elements into the performance?
See, I think it's a kind of a worn-out cliche for Irish bands to kind of bring in Irish music. So instead, I thought that it would be nice to do a jig. It's a part of the Irish culture. I used to dance when I was a little girl, and it's something that I missed a lot, you know. And it gives your vocal cords a rest.
Another legacy of Irish culture is political conflict, which became the subject of Zombie, the band's biggest single to date.
Head hangs slowly,
originally started writing lyrics and stuff, I mean, I always thought, like, oh God, I'd love to really say what I really think, you know, about a lot of things in our society, but I'll probably get myself in trouble. But I'm kind of losing that. I'll get myself in trouble thing.
And this song is our cry against man's inhumanity to man, man's inhumanity to child, and war, and babies dying, and Belfast, and Bosnia, and Rwanda.
The song Zombie was provoked by the territorial fight between the UK and Ireland.
It's the same old deed since 1916. In your head, they're still fighting.
If you cut history class, 1916 is a year of the Easter Rebellion, a bloody fight that galvanized hatred between Irish Catholics and British Protestants. To this day, the two groups continue to fight for control of Northern Ireland, a 6-county piece of land still under British rule.
This is a genuine thing. This is actually happening. And we wrote a song about it. We didn't just create it. This is a reality.
To translate Zombie's anti-war message to film, the band chose Sam Bayer, a director who has created many a rock video milestone.
He's very creative, and he's very good at women. He doesn't treat you like a woman.
Yeah.
He just treats you like a person.
Bayer directed the quietly personal Ode to My Family and I Can't Be With You, released only in Europe.
Lying in my bed again, and I cry 'cause you're not here.
But the creative partnership ended after the video, Ridiculous Thoughts.
Ridiculous thoughts are bitter.
The concept, I didn't even link in with it. I didn't understand it. So unless you understand it yourself, there's no point, you know.
The band reworked the piece with performance footage since, by 1995, the Cranberries had become a touring favorite.
Dolores has such a unique sound with her voice.
I think it's really cool. It turns me on.
You said you never would leave me alone.
I don't think we'll ever be the over-the-top, show-off, glamorously band or anything, but I mean, the band has gotten bigger and the demand has gotten bigger, the live shows, so it's a little bit more theatrical in a way. But it's still pretty much just rock and roll.
Can you talk about what it is that makes you decide to have a certain look?
Oh, it's just kind of the periods you go through, you know. You don't have to have long blonde hair and big huge knockers to be nice, you know.
Right.
You can be small and cute and be sexy too, you know.
Rock stardom also brings plenty of media attention, some good, some not so good.
You know, the media can be a pain in the ass. Sometimes people try to portray it as like I'm like the Hitler of the band or something, you know. Like they're all afraid of me, the three guys are.
The rumours are true. She's just as tough as she seems.
O'Riordan chose not to laugh it off when in July of '95, a tabloid reported that she played a concert minus her underpants.
It was something that I would have ignored, but I think my husband wasn't impressed about it. And he was going, do you want to let these people make it out that you use your sexuality to get where you've gotten today? If I wanted to show my ass off, obviously. Hey guys, you would have seen it in videos this stage, you know. So I said, okay, you know, let's go and do something about it.
O'Riordan won a settlement and gave the money to War Child, a charity for young victims of war.
So it was cool. I cleaned up my reputation, and also some kids got some cash, and some idiot got a kick in the ass who deserved it.
Dolores got the last word through a song and video expressing her true feelings about the press.
There have been times in my life where I felt like I've been in a cage, you know, because there are you running around stark naked in your house, la la, and there's someone hanging around outside with a camera. So we put the photographers into the cage.
Because harassment's not my forte, but you do it very well. I'm free to decide.
I think by the end of No Need to Argue, we were starting to get fairly heavy. But at the same time, not over the top, you know, it's not like Metallica or something.
Though the Cranberries had once said no to power chords,
We knew we didn't want to be like heavy metal.
In late '95, they brought their newest collection of songs to Bruce Fairbairn, producer for AC/DC, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, Van Halen, and other big-haired rockers. But they had their reasons.
I thought the way he treated, say, like Steve Tyler's vocal was really cool. It was really raw. And I liked that because I felt previously that, you know, I like to kind of have character when I sing.
One of the things I really enjoyed about working with the band and working with them as songwriters is that they're able to get back to an arrangement, a format of presenting a song that's there in 3 minutes.
And I miss you when you're gone.
Harkens back to a lot of the early arrangements that were going on in the 60s, Beatles songs.
I think you can kind of tell, like, on this album, John Lennon, Electric Blue, Salvation, those are the ones we co-wrote. And the rest of them then would have been, like, say I wrote Zombie, I wrote Hollywood, kind of ones where the chords are more closed, you know, concentrating the melody on my voice. Whereas when Noel comes up with the chords, sometimes they're quite melodious because that is his voice.
To the Faithful Departed was released in April of '96. The somber title is part of a Catholic prayer for the dead.
And the next one is another one of our new songs. It's about a man I recognize as a hero, as a great man, a fantastic spirit. His name was John Lennon.
The album is a tribute to everybody who's died, but it's a celebration.
It was a beautiful night, December 80, returning home from the studio late.
John Lennon died. JFK died. He was an Irishman. My grandfather died. These are all people that gave me something. They went away, but something came in here from them, and it's still here.
What of Kurt Cobain? Will his presence still remain?
Kurt Cobain was like he had a really good heart, he had a really good head, and I think he was a very genuine artist. Every song he wrote was so real and he had something to say, you know. I think it was quite saddening for the band as well to see all these other young artists and bands, people dying, people just not being able to handle it, you know.
The Cobain story and the ensuing spate of drug-related tragedies gave the Cranberries' first single, Salvation, an eerie resonance.
To all the kids with heroin eyes, don't do it because it's not what it seems.
As I understand it, drugs really haven't been much of an issue for you guys.
No. I mean, of course they have been, and we've had our moments. It's always there, the easy way out. I know that if you kind of get into that, it's just so hard to come back because it's just completely a heavenly escape. Salvation is saying that you can handle it strong as an individual without taking these substances. You don't have to go and kill yourself.
Of course, some people can't handle drinking either.
Well, bottle of port, baby.
Party on, like, you know.
No, I'm not advertising here.
You see a distinction there? I mean, like you said, you haven't stopped drinking.
Oh yeah, but I don't drink like first thing in the morning.
Right.
I used to kind of drink a lot. I used to get really bad drinking. So it's like, I think, you know, whether it's alcohol or whether it's whatever, I realized that I needed to chill out on that, you know, because it was like I'd wake up and, hey, who wrecked the place? Me?
The tour to support the third album was interrupted in June of '96 when Dolores' old ski injury,
I've got screws in there and a fiberglass ligament,
was hurt again during an Australia show.
You're kind of so high you don't feel pain. So when I jumped, I do remember thinking, you know, but I just thought, nah, I just went down on the adrenaline. But I remember when I came off stage, it was like just going up like a balloon. And the next day I was on crutches. I got a custom made. It's just like when you're on stage, it's so easy to screw it up again.
You've spent so much time on the road the last 3-4 years, and yet you're starting a life. You're engaged as well. Dolores is married. You find it's like, wow, at some point the band's going to have to be, you know, in its place along with these other things going on in my life.
It's just a case of finding a balance.
Yeah.
And I think we've all quite managed to hold it together well. You know, we haven't gone off the rails or anything.
The band is one thing, and it's like a little family, and you're very close, and you have experiences in life that you can only share with those three guys. I have a relationship with Mike, Ferg, and Noel that I only have with those three guys that I don't have with my husband. It's kind of like having an affair, I suppose. You know, it's like your band.